Okay, so finally, the Bank of Canada seems to actually be addressing a real issue that is unique to Canada. Instead of just blank conversations about there is inflation and we're putting rates up and we're going to make sure that we keep doing this and hold things until inflation goes down, they're actually using their minds and they're looking at the overall Canadian economy and a statement that came out today. Now, I want to make sure that I'm very clear about who is saying this, right? Because you can say just Bank of Canada, but it's not everyone. But here's the statement. Bank of Canada says the country faces a productivity emergency, and it is an emergency. Unfortunately, it's been an emergency now for probably half of the time that I've been working as a professional in this country, and I've seen it with my own eyes over decades, okay? This was said by Carolyn Rogers. So, Canada must tackle weak productivity to inoculate the economy against factors that will drive future inflation, such as the pullback from globalization, said Carolyn Rogers, Senior Deputy Governor of the Bank of Canada. Okay, so let's look back to now. I've made a few videos in the past, but only one of them is on this channel because I'm starting to split things out into separate channels. So it may not be in that video, but I've talked a lot in the past about lack of productivity, lack of investment in Canada, how our economy has moved to one that is either selling oil or building up wealth via property. It's making people far less productive. People are not investing into the country unless they're investing into a way overpriced home. It is almost impossible to start high-tech companies in this Canada and to succeed without them being completely taken over by foreign companies because we do not get the investment in Canada. And I'm sure the same thing happens across many other sectors within the Canadian economy, that there is not investment in the tools of productivity that we need in the future. So what starts to happen is that we end up with an economy where people who luckily bought property in the past probably no longer even have to work and are becoming less and less productive. And we see this all over TikTok and stuff, but people, all they're doing is buying properties and putting them on Airbnbs and stuff like that. That's probably the least productive way to make money in an economy. It actually destroys other parts of the economy while these people are not productive at all, right? And you can't even export this. Like, maybe you can say, well, it's for tourists or whatever, but we have infrastructure for tourism, right? And if we don't have enough, we can invest in that because that means there's money behind it. So that's fine. We don't have to do these things. So we are a completely unproductive country in comparison to the United States, okay? So there are some statistics in here, okay? And I'm going to try to pull them up. There's so many ads on this website, and I'm not even going to say which website, that it causes my web browser to flicker back and forth. Okay, so here's the thing. Our productivity has fallen from not great. That's when it was producing 88% of the value generated by the United States, our big competitor, but also trading partner. That's back in 1984, to just 71% in 2022. Okay, so that means for every hour of work that you do, you are contributing to the economy only 71% of what an American is. Okay? And like I say, a lot of that is because we invest in property. We do not invest in technology as much as we should. We've lost that focus almost entirely, sometimes it seems to me. I've worked for 2 startups, and it was very difficult to get money that in the United States would just drop onto your desk, you know. But I won't get too much into because that's anecdotal, so I won't get too much into that. But I can just say I've seen evidence of our lack of productivity. But another thing that is mentioned in here is that we bring in a lot of people to Canada, but we don't actually make use of their skills, and they end up in low-wage jobs that they can never get out of. Well, that is by design as well. I think I kind of covered that a little bit in the past, in the sense that we are bringing in people in order to suppress wages, not to build productivity. Anyone who thinks that we're trying to build productivity by bringing people into Canada, I believe, are absolutely wrong. We are bringing in people in order to drive wage suppression on low wage jobs. That's what we're doing. And the point is made here that that also reduces productivity, because guess what? We need all of the infrastructure for all these people, but we are not allowing them to provide for the Canadian economy. Instead, we're just taking advantage of them. So if there's, can someone name something we've done right for the economy in Canada? We've allowed property values to go way beyond what they're actually worth, making people less productive, dumping all of our money into that asset instead of productivity. And then we bring people into the country in order to take advantage of them when we don't even have the infrastructure to handle any of this. So I say congratulations that this has been said by the Bank of Canada, because I think I said in my last video that people don't like to tell the Canadians the truth about what we need to do. This is a truth. We are in for a hell of a ride if we can't get this under control and change the direction of this ship, okay? Because we're heading for a waterfall right now. And I think I said before, there's like two things that can happen. One is that we just continue on like this now with stagflation, right? For the next 20 years, destroying an entire generation of people that will never be able to have children, right? Or, for example, maybe the Conservatives get in and they screw things up so badly that the economy crashes and we have to rebuild it, right? But wouldn't it be nice if change came because the Bank of Canada mentions that this is where we are, and then sound reasoning comes up with policies that can change that without driving more inflation, without making people even less productive, right? Something that can actually help turn the tides in this country. I don't see any evidence of it from any political party, but at least the information is out there now to work on, and it can be used as a platform for any government that these are the policies that we're going to enact based on what the Bank of Canada is telling us and what economists are telling us, right? So that is the beginning and end of this, because none of this is new, so there's not much else to go on about with this. But anyway, I am very happy to see that the truth is starting to come out and that minds are starting to think, what are we going to do about this, right? So hopefully something can be done. Thanks for watching and have a good day.